One.
You Knicks fan, welcome to episode 2 of Knicks Fans Wilding. You know you in the building with Triple M. You already know AK's King Tito, all that good stuff. You can find us on the Off the Ball Network. And I'm here as always joined by my guy, Don Juan. Tell the people what's really good.
Yeah, what's going on, Knicks fans? How you guys doing? Hope you guys doing well, cause I am doing great. What's up with you, Mario? How you feeling nowadays?
Man, I'm feeling all right. You know, we got something. We got a tough road trip on the horizon. I see it coming. I see it coming. We just took
Facts.
a rare loss, but we bounced right back. So I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling all right. But let's just jump right into it, Don Juan. I just want to get a quick reaction. How did you feel during this 9 game winning streak before we talk about that tough loss?
Man, it was a hell of a run, bro. I didn't. This is the furthest thing that I would have thought we would have been experiencing this season, let alone being fourth seed in the East. But I'm not. I think I believe fourth seed in the East before I believe 9 game winning streak. I don't know. It's give and take no matter what. I'm just having a blast. It's a crazy year. A 9 game winning streak. The only thing that I do feel about this 9 game winning streak, and I'm not. I'll try to look at the bright side of things, but this is the thing with it that yes, it's a 9 game winning streak. We have to respect it, but the teams that we beat are like teams that we should be beating. We didn't face too much. Like if we would have beat the Nets, I would have been like, all right, we beat some niggas. But as of right now, I just feel like we beat teams that we had to beat, like I said. But man, that Suns team was such a big test, and I know we're gonna get to it. But it's like
But
if
I
we would
mean,
have
like,
if one of those teams would have been like if we would have beat a team like the Suns within the 9 game win streak, I would have felt even even more about my team. I mean, I feel great about the Knicks. Like I said, they exceeded so much expectations. I'm surprised they even got to 9 game win streak. I thought they would have lost against the Hornets, shit, way before or the Mavs. But
but I mean, I feel like every year I look at the standings. You know, I look at the standings and I start looking at teams like that. The Knicks should beat, like you said, during this 9 game winning streak. All right, I'm like looking at the standings. All right, we should win this game. We should. By the time I know it, I'm looking at 15 games and I'm like, all right, we should be on a 15 game winning streak. But the Knicks never do that. The
that's
Knicks
a
never
fact.
do that. They never beat the teams they're supposed to win. So that's why I'm saying like it's difficult to win 9 games in the NBA. I
Hmm.
think they just not matched, but Utah just the only team with a higher winning streak. It's really tough to do that. And the fact that I don't care if they're playing the lowlights, which they didn't. They had a couple great wins over there. You know, they beat teams that were on top of us at the moment. The Hawks,
Yeah, the
that was
Hawks.
in front of us. You know, the Hornets, we were battling with the Hornets. We beat them during this winning streak. New Orleans is a pretty good team. You know, I could go on and on. Like, I
New
wouldn't say,
Orleans
like you
twice.
said, it wasn't maybe Phoenix or Brooklyn as you mentioned, but it was still fun. It was still a fun 9 game winning streak, man.
I
I
mean,
ain't gonna
it
say.
was can't deny that it was definitely fun. It was definitely fun.
Yeah, and that just brings me to the energy of
Unfortunately,
this city, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was born in the early '90s. We were born in the early '90s, you know. So I would be lying to you if I told you I knew how '94 NBA Finals went, or even the '99. You know, as Knicks fanatics that we are, obviously we watched the game, we've gone back and looked, but we weren't there. We weren't there in the city, feeling the
yeah.
vibes. And 2012, 2013, I was 21, I think 20. So that was pretty cool. Like, you know, the city was lit and stuff like that. And Insanity was different. I ain't gonna lie, Insanity was fun.
That was a
But
vibe.
man, I feel like since I'm quote unquote adulting now, I'm going to work, I'm doing this, I'm doing laundry, and I always got my Knicks gear. You know, I'm working, I got my Knicks sweater on, and it's like people are really stopping right now. Like the energy in the city is on fire. during that 9 game winning streak, and it was just
I
something I never
agree.
experienced, and I just can't wait till playoffs. I got my chest out. I got my chest out all the time.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
walking around with my chest out. I'm dapping everybody up. I'm just, COVID restrictions. I'm actually giving them the pump, the little fist pump. But
Yeah.
it's been fun, especially now that I'm going to the games. I'm just feeling like the actual vibes of the city for the first time, being a young Knicks fan, and it's exciting, Don Juan. It's exciting. Talk to me. How you been doing? How's the
Yeah.
energy feeling for you?
Nah, I see. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because I've been seeing a whole lot of the Knicks gear. Like, obviously, we grew up fans and we know, but I feel like, growing up in the city, you used to seeing one common hat, and it's like a Yankee hat. But for some reason, now I'm seeing hella people wearing Knicks hats. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Am I bugging now? Like, I thought there was a lot of we share the city like conversation, and it doesn't feel like that at all if you're really living in the city. Maybe
Nah,
listening to ESPN, and maybe not even because the Knicks been getting a lot of coverage lately. So the energy. I mean, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it from outside. I'm feeling it from my own home. It's a vibe out here in New York, and I can't wait to. And I feel like we all just enjoying the moment too. Because if you hear Knicks fans, they just happy to be where they are. There's no, yeah, like we gonna win the championship. Like, nah. I mean, maybe depending on how many beers or alcohol you might consume, then like maybe you might say
right.
otherwise. But
Yeah.
realistically, we all just enjoying the moment. And yeah, if
Yeah.
whoever we facing in the playoffs is who we facing. But as of right now, this is a great feeling that is a great. It's great to be a Knicks fan right now.
Yeah, I was definitely sipping on that alcohol because during that 9 game winning streak, I found myself thinking one time late up. I was just like, man, I wonder if we're gonna give a championship to Omar Spellman and Austin Rivers and Mike Woodson. I was thinking like, are they gonna get that championship ring or win the chip? But then I came to my senses. And yeah, man, let's dive into that loss though against Phoenix. Wow, that was a fun game. Knicks came out blitzing, up 30-15. I was wow, I was just going crazy in the crib. 30-15, everything was sinking. The defense was lit. Everybody making shots. Bullock, right? It was a great first quarter, and then the second quarter came, and Devin Booker started chipping away, chipping away. Third quarter came, they kept chipping away more. We didn't find our rhythm. Randall was lackadaisical. I mean, we asked a lot from Julius, so one game, he was not feeling it. I'll give it to him. Derrick Rose was putting the team on his back. That was amazing. And then the fourth quarter, man, the point guard took over. Chris Paul made a couple circus shots and just put us out the dozer. And that was very tough. How you felt after that loss, Juan?
How heartbreaking it was. I mean, after the loss initially, it's just why Chris Paul had to do us like that, man. Like, what are
Yeah,
we
violent,
doing, bro? The
violent.
game was like, put it this way, Booker was having he was doing whatever he could do, and the Knicks were still there, like playing good. But you notice just the separation of talent. Like the Knicks are right there in terms of competing and whatnot. But then Chris Paul, like you said, point guard, and the future Hall of Famer is. You see the difference of what the Knicks are lacking, and he proved it right there in that last minute. Like, damn, we need someone like that,
Yeah.
and he showed it. He showed why he's considered the point guard, and it hurts to see the ending that end. But boy, that game was entertaining. Had playoff vibe, even with the Garden half empty or even more than half empty. Like we
ten
still was
percent.
there, Chan, and I'm
Only
pretty
ten
sure
percent.
that if the Garden was full, that'll play. It would have played a lot more of a factor. Not saying that Chris Paul ain't clutch, but it would have done a lot in terms of picking up our players that were down, and also maybe creating more of a nerve wracking situation for the Suns.
Yeah, man. Just the point guard, like I mentioned earlier, he really took over the game at the fourth quarter, just making clutch shots. That's something we lacked. Derrick Rose was trying to put it on his back, but he just didn't have that that shot. That CP was that circuit shot at the end. That was just
The
crazy.
hip shot.
That was just nuts
Yo,
for me.
and credit Randall. He tried his
He
best
played great defense. He
on
played
all
great
those
defense
plays.
on that drop. And Devin Booker, man, budding superstar. I mean, I really like Phoenix. I really like Phoenix coming out the West now, depending on the Lakers' health. But they could
Yeah, I
challenge
mean,
Utah, and they
I
just
made a
beat the
little
Clippers
I
last
made a
night.
little bet on the Suns.
Okay,
Just to throw it in there. And it's
championship.
funny that it took me to watch them play the Knicks to decide, like, you know what, this is a team that's gonna make it out the West.
Yeah, I
But
mean
I
we,
have my eye on them. I have my eye on them. So the
I
Knicks just gave
mean
me a little more insurance.
we went toe to toe with somebody that you actually just bet to win the championship. I mean, what odds you got at? What odds did you get?
Plus 2,400.
Okay, so I mean you heard it here first. Don
Plus
Juan and Phoenix
2,400.
wins the championship.
Hey,
He's
I
taking
like the
everybody
odds.
out for drinks. Everybody out for drinks because he just
Oh
put
hell
that
yeah.
plus 2,400 on Phoenix Suns. You got it here first. You got it here first. But
Yeah, and
man, let me take a little sip. That was just a tough loss for me. I forgot how it felt to lose, man. It was been a
that's
whole
one
month.
thing too,
I
bro.
had
I'm not
my
gonna
chest
lie.
out, but like I mentioned earlier, people in the city or anywhere at work, they just stop me like, Knicks need that one guy. And I just always mention this. We were not supposed to be here this year. This year was supposed to be rebuilding still, see what we got, what we got in Randall, what we got on our rookies like Obi and Quickly. Can RJ take that step in year two? And we just elevated and we skipped a step. And now everybody's like, oh, we need that guy, we need that guy. We have time to get that guy.
Oh hell yeah.
Base salary cap in the league, all this draft capital and assets. So I'm just happy that we went toe to toe with Phoenix, and we'll see them again. We'll see them again out west. But after that tough Phoenix loss, New York Knickerbockers came back,
Right back
right
in
back.
my
Julius
window.
Randle, I caught him lackadaisical against Phoenix. He was not showing no lackadaisical at the next game. Absolutely killing, carving. He was giving me spin move vibes again, though, man. I didn't like that. I ain't like the spin moves. But, I mean, we had to take advantage. And another team, as you mentioned earlier, that we had to beat, the Chicago Bulls, lacking Zach Levine out with the COVID protocol. Nikola Vucevic, a bona fide Knicks killer. He always gives us 25 and 10 in a loss, though. He always does that. Going back to his Orlando Magic day. And New York got it right back, man. How you felt about that game against the Chicago Bulls?
It was nice to see them just go right at them. I'm not sure what the lead was, but we was up 20 at one point to start
Yeah,
in the first quarter. I'm like, okay, these
it
guys,
was blitzing again, blitzing. We like
they
blitzing from the start.
they're not letting up. They're not gonna let a team like the Suns crush their hearts and not show up the next game. And that goes to show you again. And we keep harping on it, but Tibbs has his, and maybe it's a little bit of a revenge game too for Tibbs. But
Yo,
he just kept his foot on the necks, and maybe midway through the game, the Bulls got a little run, and hey, it's a game of runs. That's what it is. But like it's a game of runs, the Knicks came back and they ended up winning by 19. So it's we put in work. Don't get it
yeah,
confused if we compete midway through the game. These guys out here playing, man. And that's what I keep loving. And like RJ didn't have the best of games against the Suns, and he also had a good game against the Bulls. So if he could just, like I said, just needs to build that consistency, man. He's still trying to figure it out. And the Suns, they got one of the best defense. So him having a bad game and playing 46 minutes, like, that
mm-hmm.
could be a lot.
That is a lot. That is a lot. But what I loved about that game against the Chicago Bulls is just the contribution all over the place. Nerlens Noel was special.
Oh man,
He was really getting steals, blocks, trying to look up his stats, what he
getting
had,
5 blocks, I
find
think
that out for
4
me. But
steals.
you know, RJ came through again, like I mentioned,
Yeah,
Julius, D Rose it's just all around. D Rose was doing okay. Quickly came in and gave us that spark we needed. And that's just the team. And Obi, every game, Obi Toppin is getting just a little more confidence. You saw him miss the shot, put back. You saw the game before, a couple threes. So every game, he's getting a little confidence, and that's
Yeah,
all I
man.
wanted to see from Obi this year. So I was, man, to lose the game against Phoenix, such a heartbreaker that it was, and come right back. Just keep
It's
that
huge.
focus, keep that energy,
It's huge.
especially before we go on this tough road 6 game road trip that we've been talking about for a while now, and get that win at the Garden.
At the Garden.
Just continuously, we just been protecting home court all year, man. That's just been the special. The New York Knicks, 22-11 at Madison Square Garden.
Ooh.
Oof. When have you heard New
It's been
York
a
Knicks
while. It's been
protecting
a
the
while.
Garden?
Some would say that it's not. Maybe it's because of the fans not being there, but
Some would say
yo,
that, but I don't.
I'm pretty sure y'all gonna notice the difference when there's gonna be fans in there. It ain't gonna be the same. I think we probably got used to the no crowd thing. At least we got those games in Disney last year with the fake fans, and
Hmm.
now with no fans and barely fans. Yo, that garden is gonna be some. Mm, it's
So
gonna be rocking in there, and I can't wait.
I
I can't
cannot
wait.
wait. I cannot wait.
Wait,
And I
they
love.
they are they increasing the capacity come playoff time?
I think Cuomo said it's gonna go up to 33. I believe
Um,
33. Don't quote me on that, but he said 33. But right now they're at 10. So
okay,
another 20%. I mean,
that'll be
that makes
nice.
that makes
But
a difference.
they talking about opening the city. I think at the end of May. Hopefully
No,
that
he's.
that falls in that category, right?
I
If
think I
if
think today De Blasio said July 1st. So I mean,
oh, so
that
never
should
mind.
be way
Never
way.
mind.
Yeah, man, but let's just talk about it. We've been flirting with it. We've been touching it. We've been foot kissing
Do
it,
we really
thinking,
want to talk about it?
but let's talk about the 6 game West road trip. And we named the episode Going Out West, because that's exactly what we're doing. New York Knicks go out west to face 6 road teams.
Oh no,
First,
we
we
get
got the Houston Rockets, then we got the Memphis Grizzlies, then the Denver Nuggets, then the Phoenix Suns,
it's just
then the Los
hard.
Angeles Clippers, and then finish it out
And
against the
La La
Los
Land.
Angeles Lakers. Don Juan, I want to start off with this question. Give me 2 scenarios: your best case and your worst case.
Wow. So looking at this list right here, man, it's pretty hard to see, where we could get some wins. I mean, not really. I mean, Memphis. I feel like Memphis and the Rockets. Well, really the Rockets, but the Rockets they'll be a tough outing. But honestly, best case scenario is 4-2, bro. I see the Rockets and Grizzlies. That should be an easy dub. The Clippers, granted, we is no home court, but I feel like we played them good. And if Randall could get it going early, I think we could win that, bro.
Hmm.
And it'll be a toss up with me with the Lakers and Clippers, depending on health. The Nuggets, they're on a run right now, so I can't really just count that one in. But between Clippers and Lakers, I think we get one too. Because
Hmm.
the Clippers, they have two, but
Whoa.
it's just Paul George playing. Kawhi Leonard ain't out there. The next defense, they'll put a stop to
Optimistic
that.
Juan.
And
Optimistic
if
Juan.
and
I
if
like
not
it.
the Lakers, bro, they what they're gonna force that whole team chemistry out of nowhere. LeBron been out for a minute. AD just came
Yeah,
back,
they
but he
won the
hasn't been playing.
championship. They won the championship. They'll get that chemistry right back.
Yeah, but it's still a fail. Like you can't just force stuff in either. Like that's which is why I was big on catching the Nets in the first round. I say the same thing with the Lakers. Nets and Lakers are a team that are vulnerable in the first round because they haven't been playing. Like yeah, the Lakers are a championship team, so you have to you have to throw that into the equation and say that they're probably more advanced in terms of chemistry and cohesion in a sense, but it's not. I don't know, bro. LeBron been out for over a month, and they got Drummond in there who None of them. AD just started playing with Drummond, and they pretty much play the same role. LeBron hasn't played with Drummond before, so it's still shaky there, man. And that's the best case scenario. Worst case, we lose it all.
Let me
That's my
see.
worst case. There's no way we could like. There's just no
Yeah.
way we lose to the
So wait,
Rockets
so
or
your
Grizzlies.
best
That's a
was four
nightmare
and two,
scenario.
4-2,
4-2. That's best case.
and losing to the
Worst
Rockets.
case is
Worst
is
case,
0-6.
yeah. I mean, the Rockets. Let me give you a something I just pulled up. Kevin Porter Jr. tonight, 50 points.
Ah, you see what I
Christian
mean?
Wood, 31. Kelly
Yeah.
Olynyk since the trade. Everybody was bashing the Rockets for that Victor Oladipo trade. It's not looking too
It's
bad.
not looking too bad anymore, I guess.
24 points for Victor Kelly Olynyk and 13 assists. I mean 13 rebounds, excuse me. So wow, I mean, I feel like we have. I mean, granted, it was against the Milwaukee Bucks, but Giannis uh, turned his ankle in the first minute of the game
Yeah,
and
yeah.
didn't play the rest of the game. But boy, I mean, that Houston Rockets game is a must win. I mean, I've been saying this every game. Every game for the New York Knicks right now is a must win, but we cannot lose to the Houston Rockets, and they just balled out today. But for me, worst case scenario is 1-5. I mean, I just cannot see us losing to the Houston Rockets. I mean, the way
Yeah.
Tibbs is coaching this squad, they just don't take things for granted. I mean, they were interviewing a lot of the guys before the game against the Bulls, talking about the West Coast trip, and everybody kind of gave the same answer, one at a time. We're focusing on the Bulls right now. We'll talk about that later. So the New York Knicks have the right mentality. They're focusing on one game at a time. Every game is a one game thing. So I don't see us looking past the Houston Rockets. Now, after that, man, I just don't really know. Like, I like being an optimistic Knicks fans. I like being like, yeah, we're gonna win every game. But I mean, when you look at the teams we're playing, the Memphis Grizzlies, they're looking for revenge. You know, they're not a bad team, and they're fighting. They're fighting for playoff seeding right now. This is a huge game for the Memphis
Yeah.
Grizzlies,
You're definitely
who
gonna
are
get the
trying to
best of them.
avoid the play-in. They are trying to avoid the play-in. They got eliminated last year in the play-in by the Portland Trailblazers. So they're trying to avoid it, and they're not that far away from Dallas, who have their own struggle. Denver Nuggets, you know, you got Nikola Jokic. Not Nikola. Well, I don't know, man. Whatever his name is. MVP Jokic. That's what I'm calling. He's just been balling, man. I'm facing him in my fantasy playoffs right now. Every
Oh,
time I see him
that's
play,
the better soul to the sun. Like
every
better,
time
better,
I
you know.
every time I see him play, I'm like, come on, man. This is a big pot we're playing for right now. And then Phoenix Suns. I mean, we just saw the struggle, and now we're on the road with them. You know, that's a tough game. That's a tough game on road, and we never do good out there in Phoenix. We never really do good. Then the Clippers and the Lakers. I mean, that's I disagree with you as far as chemistry with the Lakers. I feel like LeBron, when he comes in, he just fits seamlessly because you know he's a willing passer. He like letting the game come to him. So chemistry for him is super easy. I mean, it was Anthony Davis coming back, maybe, because you know Davis demands things more and stuff like that. But LeBron is LeBron, and they've been struggling too. So I'm sure he's gonna be back by that game because they're not trying to sink in to play in. I mean, I'm sure they feel like they could be anybody, but
Yeah,
they're
they
not trying to
don't need
sink
home
in.
court.
They're not trying to sink into that play-in. And Kawhi, who knows when he'll come back? So that game against the Clippers is gonna be tough. So I mean, for me personally, worst case 1-5, but I'm not as optimistic as you, man. And I'm an optimistic person. You know, I could maybe see us squeaking out a game here or
Hey.
there, maybe 2-4. If we go 4-2, Don Juan, let me tell you something. Whenever we come back to the Garden, I'm buying you 3 shots.
Oh,
Buying you
so
three
we
shots of
gotta go
whatever
forward
you
too
want.
then. We gotta go forward too then. The
Gotta
fans
go
need
four and
this.
two, man. We gotta go four and
The
two because
fans need this right
yes,
here. You gonna be at the garden with some shots. And now we talking. Now we talking. That's a party now.
yeah,
That's a party now.
man. I mean, I hope, man. I hope, but
Hey, and
I gotta
and
start
and don't get
fixing
me
my
wrong.
sleep.
This road trip, depending, like you said, the road trip is really gonna decide our fate. Because we got after the road trip, we got 3 games all at home, but I feel like by then we should probably have an idea of where we stand. Like that magic number is gonna be out.
I mean, yeah, it'll only be 3 games left, so
You know, so
we'll have a clear picture. And that brings us perfectly into our next topic, keeping the fourth seed. I mean, we got the Celtics, the Hornets, the Hawks, and the Heat right there. 2 games separate the fourth and the seventh seed. I mean, you could go from home court advantage to end the play-in game in just in a 2-game losing streak.
don't blink too fast.
Yes, so I mean, talk to me about that. Who you trying to? Who are you most scared of from those 3 teams? I'll say Miami, Boston, and the Hawks. I don't really see the Hornets with coming really close to us, but
Yeah,
who do you fear catching up to that fourth seed?
I
And
see. So the three teams that I would have my eyes on are the Hawks, Celtics, and Heat. Those are the ones that I would you know have on my radar. The ones I'm probably trying to avoid is the Heat. It's probably the Heat. I don't know. For some reason, they just have a number. They play us right. I feel like it's because they kind of mirror each other in a sense, in terms of well, maybe not so much. I don't know. The Heat. I just feel like the Heat play that they play good defense. They stay in games, and then if they're hitting shots, they're gonna win. I feel like the same thing with the Knicks. They stay in the game because of the defense, and if they're hitting shots, it's over. So that's one
yeah,
thing
but
with the Heat. Maybe this year they haven't really been able to pretty much produce like they were in the bubble last year. Last year they was in a hell of a run. I mean, they was like fourth seed. They made it to the championship. And also that's a team that I feel like they don't really care about being a higher seed. They just need to get in the dance. Maybe they're coasting right now. I mean, Jimmy Butler has been out most of the year, but maybe that championship high has played against guys like Tyler Hero, who having a decent year, but not having a year that you would expect after what he did last year in the playoffs. So, but regardless, that's a team that I feel like in the playoffs they'll just figure it out and they just gonna come out strong.
yeah, but who do you fear? Who do you fear that will catch us at the fourth seed right now? We're standing alone at the fourth
Oh, you're
seed.
talking about in terms of standings, not in
Yeah,
matchup wise.
no, not
Oh, who do I
matchups,
fear? Probably the
matchups.
Celtics. The Celtics got an easy
Celtics. Okay,
schedule. They got a
okay.
pretty easy schedule, and
Who they
and
play? Who they play? Let me look at the Celtics.
yeah, but you look it up, like they have a good team, bro, and they just need to figure it out. You get some games that are pretty much practice games with some easy teams to kind of figure it out. Like that's not a
I
bad
mean, they
time.
just they just lost to OKC, the worst team in the NBA. So
They definitely did. I definitely
I
saw
mean,
that,
I'm
and they
looking
have
at their
Fournier back.
schedule. It's not that easy, Juan. I mean, they play the Spurs, who are competing for the play-in. They play Portland, who are trying to avoid that play-in, and then they play Orlando, Chicago. That's pretty easy. Zach Levine might be back for Chicago then.
Yeah,
Then they play
actually, not
Miami
that. They
twice.
played
They
Miami
play
twice.
they play
Yeah.
Miami twice. So that's
Okay.
perfect right there.
Now you just changed it for me. Now you
Yeah,
just
that's perfect right there with the Miami. I mean, whoever wins those games, I mean, it'll benefit us. Then they got a couple easy ones here, Cleveland and Minnesota, and then they finish the season against the New York Knicks.
and that could
You
probably
got to
decide whether being in the play and not for either of
yeah.
them.
Yeah, so Boston, who struggled tremendously, their schedule is not that easy. The
Wow.
team I fear now is Miami. I'm looking at their schedule now. They have a couple lollipops here.
Damn.
They play Cleveland. They're not even trying to win that here over there in Cleveland. They play Charlotte. They should take care of Charlotte. Then they play Dallas, which is difficult. Then they play Minnesota, another easy one. Then they go 2 games against Boston, like I mentioned. That'd be good. Then they play Philly and Milwaukee. Who knows where they're gonna be at? They like resting players. This season's been a joke. Then they end the season at Detroit. So yeah, Boston. I mean Miami actually scares me, man, because they like you said, they're coasting. I feel like they're coasting as well, and they can pick it up whenever they want.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good eye. It's funny because even the Heat, I wasn't even considering them, and I'm over here looking at the standings. They're only 2 games away.
Yeah,
Like, I thought it was at least 3 or 4.
no, that's what I'm saying, man. Just 2 games separate the
They just
fourth and the
hanging in
seventh.
there.
And unfortunately for the Hawks, with Trey Young being out and Bogey still having going through his injuries and Huter now hurt, uh, I don't really see them making a move. I didn't even look at their schedule. Maybe they have
Yeah,
Detroit
the
and Cleveland.
schedule isn't too bad. They got the Sixers tomorrow,
That should be tough.
Bulls, Blazers, Suns. So we see like they still got some respectable teams. They faced the Wizards twice, who they're probably one of the hottest teams in the league right now as well. We just on a what
Hmm.
8 game win streak too. They had the longest win streak after the Knicks,
Yeah,
and they
man. We
lost
just
the
have
same day too.
we just have to get
It
home. We
was
have
just
to
a
get home.
heartbreaker that day.
We just have to get home. New York, as you embark in this 6 game road trip. Listen to me, Triple M here talking.
Uh
As you
huh.
embark on this 6 game road trip, just get home, team. Just get home in one piece, and we'll take
Yes.
care of things at home. We'll take care of things at home. We got 3 games at home, and trust me, we'll be there. We'll be there pushing you forward and pushing you. Let's go. Just get there. Get there.
Man, hopefully those last 3 games aren't expensive.
Oh man.
Shit. It's fucking this yo that Suns game. Yo, out of all games, obviously we already see the road trip literally in the back of our mind. So it's like yo, we gotta embrace these last 3 games that are at the Garden. Of course, off a go heading to a nine. Coming off a 9 game winning streak, you want to extend it to 10. You face this team, the Suns, who you know is one of the top teams in the league. It's a must watch, must see TV type of game. And then when you're in New York, you want to go to these games. And I wasn't even thinking about the tickets before because at the time, you didn't see how the season would play out. When they said this game was available, I'm like, damn, that'd be dope to see the Suns at the Garden. But I'm not thinking it's going to be a 9 game win streak and 10 game win streak on the line here before. But now, heading into this game, I'm like, yo, I want to get a ticket. And I know you actually looked up it was going to cop one. How much you said it was?
I mean, I had a great deal for Thursday, Friday. I actually bought tickets for somebody a
Oh
few
my
weeks ago.
god.
A friend of mine hooked them up, and yeah. So I was like, all right, I might cop it. Then that day, Monday, tickets was in the 300s, 400s. Wow.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
that's pretty much what I saw when I looked at Ticketmaster. It was like 270, 300 area, and it was like a few tickets.
yeah, man.
It might have been like 4 available.
You know what? I compare this to something completely different. I compare this to the hype around Bitcoin and BTC and all
Mm,
these things. The just the limited amount. That's why I feel like Bitcoin is just booming the way it's booming because there's every year they continue to limit it. And as far as with the New York Knicks, only 2,000 fans allowed in the arena, and these are real hardcore fans. This ain't no people in tux and suits. These
that's a
are
fact.
hardcore New York Knicks fans, and everybody they're the hottest ticket in town. So tickets are gonna skyrocket, and I don't see an end to it till we get full capacity, and hopefully for the playoffs. Who knows what's gonna happen? But how much is too much for you, Juan? I mean, the playoffs is coming. I know
Oh
we
man.
high, we live, we want
Oh
to see the New
man.
York Knicks playoff. How much is too much for you, ticket
How
wise?
much is too much, man? That's a great question. It's a great question because if you could think that okay, that Suns game was 300, 400. That's probably not even going to be a ticket for a playoff game. That might be like not even. I can't even think of a price. Probably, I mean, I say 500 and up, all the way at the top, the rafters. Like
Uh,
I don't know, bro. I can't even like. First of all, I haven't even seen ticket prices, playoff ticket prices before. at the Garden. So I can't even tell you what they're
It's been a long
run.
time.
I can't even tell you what they'll run for anyways, or like an estimate, let alone at capacity now with increased demand. So I don't know, man. I might drop like five, like maybe a five though for a playoff game.
500. Don Juan,
But
my
it
man.
gotta be but it gotta be a situation where like I'm not gonna go see if we down 3-0. I don't want to do that to myself. You know, it gotta be something that I feel good. Like I'm already pumped. If I don't want to see just a bunch of sad faces, but hey, even if we do get swept, let's just say we're gonna walk out of there with pride, cause bro, what a fucking year has it been?
Yeah, man. I mean, to answer my own question, how much is too much? Man, I'm just a crazy Knicks fan. Like, I just don't know how much is too much. Like, I almost bought the tickets to the Suns, man. If I had somebody to come with me, I probably would have just got it. But
All you
nobody,
needed was a yo, we out.
yeah, exactly. Nobody was really trying to do that with me. So, how much is too much, man? I don't know. But the fact that we even having this conversation is lit for me. Like you
That's a
said,
fact.
like it's just lit. And going back to my point earlier and what you just mentioned, like we don't know how much ticket prices it because we never could afford it. We didn't even look. We would just be like watching it at home, you know. But the fact that we have the opportunity to possibly get tickets, I can't wait. And this is a conversation we can have 3 weeks to a month from now. We'll see where
Seriously.
we at. We'll see where we at, man. But yeah, I also wanted to talk about the Mark Stein article real quick. He said he's quoted the New York Knicks helped restore their reputation to the point that star players are finally prepared to consider them a destination again. Oh man, Don Juan,
Uh,
are you falling for the trap
here
or
we
not?
here we go again. Here we go again. Oh man, it's like they set us up. They reel us in. Oh yes, someone's coming. But and I get the statement. I get the statement. But for us right now, like maybe as a Knicks fan. I mean, maybe as a NBA casual NBA fan, it's like cool. The NBA needs a New York Knicks team to be competitive, and a star could bring back the franchise. But us as a fan, it triggers me because of all these others. We were supposed to get KD and Kyrie. We were supposed to get LeBron in 2010. We were supposed to get all these players that enough with the players want to come here when I mean, and I get it. People get paid to do this, to write articles, get to add some clickbait. But me as a Knicks fan, I'm not falling for this, considering the fact also that there's no superstars in sight anyways. You know what I mean? Like, who the hell
For
are we
sure.
gonna sign? DeMar DeRozan, I mean, if you still consider him a superstar,
No
not
way,
nothing
Jose.
against him, but he's a little bit on the older side, and not a guy that might fit the system. But it's not even about him. It's just that there's really nobody out there that's really a franchise altering player. Everybody seems to have already those type of players are already all committed to a team for the long term. So for us, it just seems like we got to just build within, maybe pick up a couple guys on the way as we continue to, you know, develop our guys. But as of right now, I don't see no superstar in sight. What do you think about that, Mary?
Oh man, I mean,
It's a little bit,
Don Juan, man, let me tell you something. I'm like you. I don't want to fall for it, but I'm falling for it. I'm falling for the hype, you know? Triple M fall for the hype. Because I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, Juan. The New York Knicks, the year you mentioned, LeBron James might come to New York. New York Knicks finished 29 and 53. 29 and 53. That was pretty nasty.
oh my
Then
God.
we skip forward a few years, Kevin Durant and everybody coming. The New York Knicks finished with 17 wins that season. 17 wins. Okay. And going back again to 2009, the Knicks had little assets here, Gallinari, Wilson Chandler, you know, it was players that were like, okay, they're decent role players. We can see what we do, and then fast forward again when KD and Kyrie, quote unquote, come in. You know, we didn't have nobody. We had just drafted RJ. Nobody knew who was RJ. You know, Frank Ntilikina. I mean, let's not even go down that rabbit hole. Okay, but now, Don Juan, now the
Frank.
New York Knicks have everything competent. They got a fire front office. You think William Wesley came here to rebuild? Nah, man. You think
Nah, nah,
Leon
hell no.
Rose, these like Steve Stout, all these guys are here. They're not here. Like I mentioned earlier, this was not supposed to happen. This year was not supposed to happen. But now that it did, I am falling for the trap. New York Knicks are definitely a star destination, and us fans are starving for us, for a star to come here. I mean, a star comes to New York. I mean, oh my God, I don't know what will happen. I mean, Julius Randle, he's putting up superstar stats this year, but I mean, we all could see the lack of go-to moves, especially in the fourth quarter and the game,
Yeah,
get his own basket. So
and like
I
he
fell
does.
for the trap. I fell for the trap. I'm definitely a star will come here. I don't know who. There's not a free agent in sight, but via trade, via something,
That's
and
the detail right there. That's the detail right
we
there.
gonna have a different conversation. And shout out to my boys out there, the front office, Leon Rowe, William
Hey,
Wesley.
shout out to them for real. And now that you mentioned like about superstars, about yeah, we missed out on like the KDs and Kyries and whatnot. And we're doing great, but they end up in the city. They came to New York technically. They definitely came to New York. So maybe is Mark Stein confusing that sentiment as well? Like Bradley Beal wants to go to Brooklyn too. Like are
Man.
we is it are we making sure that they said the Knicks or did they say New York? Like
I mean, you know they like being vague, so they never wrong.
oh hey, I know
They like
somebody
saying
else
New
who
York,
who's
yeah. They like
I know
saying New
somebody
York.
else would be a little vague and
They be
and he's
like,
always
hey, I
flip
mentioned New
flopping.
York.
My
They
guy
mentioned
Stephen
New
A.
York.
Smith.
Oh, whoa, whoa,
I
whoa,
don't know if
whoa.
you heard what he was saying about that KD and Kyrie will regret choosing Brooklyn over New York, which is a pretty bold statement considering that Brooklyn is number one in the East right now, and the Knicks, they're fourth. Even though one could dream what they would be if they had KD and Kyrie, but yeah,
Oh
they're
man.
fourth. They're a humble fourth right now to a Nets number one. But I mean, it must be a reason Stephen A. Smith is bringing this up. I'm not sure. How do you feel about Stephen A.'s statement?
Stephen A, man, I just don't know what to say about Stephen A. I mean, I was a big fan of Stephen A. Me and you, we used to go to his shows all the time. Dave the
For
Young
real,
Buck,
quite frankly.
we used to be there. Quite frankly, we met the great Kobe Bryant. Not met, but saw him very close. That was pretty
That was dope.
extraordinary moment. But Stephen A, he just be chatting. He just be talking. And I mean, we fourth in the East, winners of 9-10 games. I mean, Brooklyn, we know what Brooklyn is, man. Brooklyn is Brooklyn. They got two of the best five scorers in the NBA right now, KD and Kyrie. I mean, three. James Harden, man. I can't even mention that. They got three of the best five scorers in the NBA right now. But we're not even talking. We're not even worried about them. I mean, Stephen A's comment, I just took it with a grain of salt because that has nothing to do with what we're trying to build right now. I mean, do we wish we had that? I mean, that's debatable. We could debate about all that because we seen what KD and Kyrie, they just take personal days off like they have a regular job, PTOs, and the Knicks, it's just more scrutiny. In Brooklyn, like, they just don't even care. They don't even talk about it. So
Yeah,
I just take Stephen A's comments with a grain of salt. I don't care. I mean, I don't care anymore. I mean, what can I do? I can't think
yeah.
about
At this
KD and
point, at
Kyrie.
this
Yeah.
point, it's already after. Yeah, Stephen
So,
A. I mean, this is him like I don't know. Maybe it's him trying to build a rivalry up between
trying to,
the two
trying to.
teams. But I
What?
also think that I agree with him though. I'm not gonna lie. I do agree with him. It's just he knows what these type of comments do in terms of like the media, like how it shakes certain spectrums. Like we're talking about it right now. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
Like Stephen A. is right though, because yeah, we had this 9 game winning streak, but even prior to the 9 game winning streak, the team of the city has been the Knicks. The player that we've been talking about has been Julius Randle. Granted, the 9 game win streak took it elevated it to a whole nother level, but we're just in fourth place and we're literally everywhere. Meanwhile, the
Yeah,
Nets they're in first place, and it's like you really don't hear about them. Yeah, maybe it's because they're not a full team, but or maybe it's just reality. It's just the reality is that the Knicks are a brand while the Nets are just a team.
for sure. I mean, I'll go back to the Richard Jefferson comment where he just said, one of the rare times I agree with him when he said, the Knicks matter here in New York. Brooklyn matters everywhere else. Everywhere
Man,
else they're talking about Brooklyn and all that, but here in New York we only talking Knicks. And will KD and Kyrie regret it? I don't think so. I mean, we see their personas. They're really into
yeah,
this woke stuff, and they don't really care. Like they just like playing ball, and that's pretty cool too. Like they just like balling, and it's a weird persona. Sometimes I don't see their attitudes as weird to me, but I mean that's the way they are. I mean sometimes there's things that with other people I'll be like, why they do that? I just don't get it.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
I don't think they care. I don't think they'll regret it, man. Let's see. I will hope we get a playoff matchup. If not this year, next year definitely, man. It would
Yeah,
be cool.
that'd be fun. That'd be fun for the
It'll
city
be,
at least, man. The city
it'll
will
be pretty
explode,
dope,
bro.
man, for sure. But Don Juan, I want to finish this off with a little new segment that we got going on. It's called Cornball of the Week. In New York, cornball. How would you even define cornball, Juan? How would you define it
How
for the
would I
people that don't
define
have that slang?
cornball? Well, a cornball. How would I define? I mean, the obvious is corn. So corn is like corny, but it's a cornball. Like, this is another word of saying corny, but you're just a cornball.
Ah,
It is a New York thing too. I hear that word often, and it's to offend. Is well, I guess it's to offend, but mainly just a judgment of a character of a person, and
I don't
these
know.
are well deserved awards that we're giving out today. So
I don't know why I asked you to explain cornball the week. You might have given the worst explanation I've ever heard. Man, but
it was
cornball
worth a
basically
shot.
means it's that you're corny. I mean, I know it's the same word. I just can't explain it. It's a New York thing. Don Juan, give the people your cornball of the week.
My cornball of the week is the one and only Mr. Universal Income himself, Andrew Yang.
Oh, cornball.
Andrew Yang, yes, I said it. The politician Andrew Yang, who I'm not sure. He was known as a. I mean, he says he was known as a Knicks fan, but early in the year, I guess after maybe like 5 games into the season, he decided to change paths. He said breaking up with the Knicks. This is quote on Twitter. So he took his time typing this. Breaking up with the Knicks was one of the best decisions of my life. I live freer. Wow. He lives
Cornball.
freer. That means he just hopped out. Like he's not a Knicks fan. He lives freer. Now he could think of actual policies that he would like to implement in the city. Actually, this was actually a year ago. So I guess he was not a forward thinker. He might have said that the at the bottom of the Knicks, and not even at the bottom. Well, I guess we were pretty bad that year. But he was quick to jump the ship because guess what he was doing last week?
What was
Not
it?
even it was last week, the 23rd. He was posting an article about that. The article, the main point of the article was that the Knicks are back. So this
Definition
guy's
of corny.
just was free. Now he's back to thinking about the Knicks. I thought you was free. Like somehow you're occupied now. I guess that's why you're not running for president.
Yeah, man.
There it is.
Yeah, Andrew Yang, that man is a character for sure.
Hey, there's more people. And that's just, bro. There's a long list of people that just somehow coming back. But we're just calling you out when when you show it. Andrew Yang, I didn't expect it. Max Kellerman, I feel like he's gonna flip soon. He's hanging still, but we'll be here though. We'll be here. The award is waiting for you too.
Let's see. All right, so my cornball of the week would be something I saw on Twitter. Shout out to my boy, the OG Nickinator. Call him the Nickinator out there. That's the OG, man. He be out there trolling all day. But he uncovered a video that was really, really troubling. Knicks fan screaming and trolling a young Toronto Raptor fan after the Knicks defeated the Raptors outside the Garden. And man, listen. I mean, I'm a passionate Knicks fan, and I'll be out there screaming at people at the arena who are rooting for the other fan. I'll be booing. I got a Porzingis sucks sweater, custom made. I love trolling. I love talking smack with the other opponents and stuff like that. But that type of trolling we don't do, Knicks fans.
No.
We have a target on our back. ESPN and all these other big companies, they just like portraying us as bad and obnoxious and stuff like that. And that's why you saw the Van Dolan shirt get a lot of unnecessary attention. All right, we don't need to do that. We're finally a competent team. We're playing well. We're fighting for the 4th seed. There's just so many other bigger things that to be outside the Garden, basically pushing this guy away from the arena, and just unnecessary trolling. I mean, you got to check out the video. I'm gonna make sure to clip this on top of the video if you haven't seen it. It was just super unnecessary. Knicks fan, like I said, we're back. We're back with a 4th seed right now. We got a lot of positives flowing. We can't bring negative energy. We got a target on our back, Knicks.
Let's
not do that. Let's not do that. That was my cornball of the week, man. The Knicks fans. Mainly one guy, but there was a couple fans out there.
A couple end up trying to do the same thing because it seems cool. Like it starts off at one, and then a couple guys just jump in there. But yeah, man, those are the cornball of the week. Those Knicks fans and Andrew Yang.
For sure.
I don't know if that rhymed, but
there, little bars there.
A little something to conclude, a little something to give the fans, something to hold up for next week.
Check out that mixtape. Check out that mixtape.
Coming soon. Be on the lookout.
Yo, bro, man, it's pretty cool, pretty dope. Had a lot of fun talking with you, and let's see next week. We got Houston, we got Denver, and I think
Houston Grizzlies.
Before we see if we do another show and stuff, but Knicks fans, wildin'. You already know what it is, man. We in the building. Triple M, Don Juan.
Yes, sir.
It's just flowing. It's just flowing. This is episode 2. Off the Ball, man. Make sure to check out our guys over there at the Off the Ball Network. We out here. KnicksFansWilding. We're going to holler at you on the other side. Let's go, Knicks.
Let's go. And maybe next week I'll have some more decorations for the people looking up in the visuals.
Yeah, look like a 4x4 prison cell right here. And I will be sipping as usual.
You're ready. Catch y'all later. Peace.